Hello, Flanny friends. I'm back again, this time with the second half of Shadow and Bone Season 2. The second half is a bit of a mixed bag of stuff, so let's go ahead and get into it. As always, spoilers ahead, so you have been warned. Starting off, a few things that I thought were going to be bigger plot points are just kind of glossed over. Mal, who was taken towards the end of the last episode, comes right back as if nothing happens. Also, the marriage to Nikolai is also seemingly undone rather quickly, so. Okay. One thing that I did find interesting, which I did not put together until this scene transpired, was Kaz's desire to wear gloves all the time. I thought it was just a fashion statement, which does seem kind of on brand for a guy like him, but no. We get a dream of him on the barge with all the dead bodies during the firepox, and it immediately cuts to him waking up and washing his hands. So, not a fashion statement, he's just a germaphobe, which makes sense seeing as how he grew up during the pox and what all he went through. Another thing that gets undone rather quickly, though one that I don't mind at all, is Inej. Kaz sends her away at the end of episode 4 just for Jesper to immediately tell her they've been hired to go to Shu to track down a weapon to kill the smoke monsters, and she immediately joins up and comes with. There's unfortunately just a lot of this. Set up something just for it to not mean anything. Sort of. We'll get into some of that later. Crux of what is going on in the last few episodes is basically a mini war. Key emphasis on the mini part. You have a group of about 10 to 15 supercharged Grisha versus what appears to be maybe 20 or 30 Royal Guard, and that is it. Those are the armies of the Darkling and the Kingdom respectively, which is kind of sad, not gonna lie. While the Darkling makes a play and expands the fold, allowing the Volcra inside the fold to massacre as many people as they like, he also searches for Alina and Mal. And you're probably asking yourself, why Mal? Alina makes sense, but why her tracker boyfriend? Well, because apparently the Firebird isn't a bird or a creature at all, but a bloodline. Lo and behold, Mal is actually of the same blood as the Darkling, and his great ancestor, give or take a grade or two, was one of these powerful amplifiers, and her blood flows through his veins. So he is now the final amplifier for Alina. I will be honest, while I do absolutely enjoy the show, I do not understand all the intricacies of the amplifiers. We're told how 3 are made by this one man, Ilya Morozova, and it seems that he did it by bringing them back to life. While the Kingdom is fighting the Darkling, and Alina is desperately trying to figure out how to use Mal's power without killing him, we get a bit more world building in the land of Shuhan. First off, we get an absolute amazing fight scene between a Durast who utterly wipes the floor with our crows, who broke into her home to find the legendary thief, the Disciple, who long ago stole a blade that kills unkillable things. While his friends are getting absolutely destroyed, Kaz makes a move to go after what means the most to their assailant, her alien husband. Attacking the weakness of the heart has been a bit of a theme for him this season, as he also went after Pekka Rollins' weakness, which was a son. By bringing her husband out into the courtyard, the fight is stopped and a bit of a truce is formed. Oval, who is revealed to be the saint who created the sword centuries ago, talks to Jesper and urges him not to waste his own skills in being a Durast. The final battle culminates within the fold itself. The Grisha press from the front as the fold races up behind, and this is a part that I'm a sucker for. The cliche of people arriving right in the nick of time to help. Give me a scene where friends you thought were gone show up and save the day, and I just love it. Which is what we get in this fight. The shadow monster seemed poised to kill Alina when Inej jumps in and cuts him apart with her Saint Blade. Meanwhile, as Nikolai and his few soldiers are left to fight against the powered-up Grisha, the crows come in to help. First, with a bomb from Waylon, now officially the Crow's demo expert, a fact that he seems shocked by, and then from an amazing scene where Jesper finally gives in and uses his Durarest powers, allowing him to use his own buttons to cut down a Tidemaker. Finally, we get our showdown with the Darkling and Sun Summoner, and honestly, it's not much of a showdown compared to everything else we've seen. She pretty quickly wounds him with a cut, a powerful attack that only a few Grisha are able to master, but unfortunately Mal is injured in the process. Realizing his life is likely ending anyway, he asks Alina to kill him, to use his energy as a final amplifier.
Make them redraw all the maps.
With the powers of the Stag, the Storm Whip, and the Firebird, Alina finally manages to tear apart the fold in a rather beautiful scene. The Darkling is finally killed with a special sword, and Mal is brought back to life by Alina, using the Forbidden Morzat to bring him back. A price must be paid for this act, but what that price is, we don't know just yet.
You will not know what price it demands until it is too late.
The finale sets up some interesting things. At the beginning of this, I said some plot points, such as Mal disappearing and the marriage falling apart, happen rather quickly, but we sort of actually end on those exact same plot points. Because after being brought back to life, Mal no longer feels the same and wishes to figure out whether he and Alina are together because of destiny or because of choice. So he ends up taking on the Stormhund mantle to work for the king as the privateer. Meanwhile, Alina seems to be gearing up for the wedding and coronation for the king, who unfortunately is hiding a bit of a secret now. An injury by the smoke monster left Nikolai quite wounded, and it seems almost as if rather than dying, it snuck inside him and still resides there. Kaz finally admits that he wants to be with Inej, but he cannot give himself fully to her, something that she says she does not accept. Using the information Kaz provides, she joins the new Stormhund to go search for the slaver who has her brother. With that, Kaz and the Crows return to Ketterdam for their next adventure, taking over the barrel and formally taking Wylan and Nina in as members of the Crows. He speaks to them of a dangerous new assignment, as rumors of a new drug which amplifies Grisha's powers 1,000 times over is revealed. As we learn of this, the scene cuts to the coronation of the new king, where an enemy Grisha, empowered by the drug, uses it to attack. We end this season on a shot of Alina using the cut against the assailant, only for her power of light to seemingly now be corrupted by darkness. Perhaps this was the price she paid for bringing Mal back. A lot happened in the last few episodes, but overall, I'm really enjoying this series. A few things to note. The first is that Nikolai is absolutely my favorite character right now. I'm not certain where we're going to go next with the Darkling out of the picture, and I'm really hoping that Nikolai doesn't end up becoming the villain next series due to the darkness inside of him, because he's been such a great character so far. One thing I really enjoyed with this series is that there were a myriad of moments where characters had secrets. From Jester being a Durast, Mal being the Firebird, and Kaz's feelings for Nej, I was really worried they were going to drag the secrets out for dramatic moments. But in each of the cases, they subverted my expectations, and the characters made mostly logical choices in being upfront about the secrets rather than dragging it out, which is really refreshing. Like I said at the beginning, while the Grisha stuff is cool and the war is interesting, my main interest is still in the Crows themselves. I just feel like they and the supporting cast of pirates have much more personality than the main cast of the Darkling, Sun Summoner, and Firebird. So far, Netflix hasn't announced the third season, and while there are rumors of it, as well as the Crows standalone one, I'm not going to get my hopes up. I've been hurt too many times by Netflix in the past, and I don't want to do that again. Now, that being said, if it does get announced, I will definitely be looking forward to it. Shadow and Bone has become a favorite of mine, so if you haven't checked it out yet, I highly recommend you seeing it. That's all I've got for now. Next week, the new Dungeons & Dragons movie is coming out, so definitely expect a review of that once I'm able. As always, if you've enjoyed this and want to stay up to date on the latest news and reviews, please consider liking and subscribing, as it really helps my small channel to grow. Until next time, Flandy friends, bye!